Shalom, I'm Dr. Yasapa. I'm going to discuss cows and the fact that cows are hybrid creatures. Okay, cows were created, they are not produced by the Most High, but they are hybrids. So I'll be sharing some information with you that I've come across. So when I say cows, I'm talking about cows and bulls. Okay, the common representation that people are referring to as the cow or the bull is what people refer to as representing the pictograph A in the Paleo Phoenician Hebrew writing system. Okay, so that's why this is important. I'm Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School. I'm going to be talking about cows and the fact that cows are hybrid animals. That means they were created by someone other than the Most High. Okay, genetic splicing or interbreeding, they are hybrids. Okay, this is important again because lots of people represent that the bull is the animal that's used to represent the pictograph A in the Paleo-Phoenician script. All right, so let's get into it. Let me pull up my article. All right, so give me one moment to pull this article up and then I'll be right back. All right, so first we'll do a simple Google search, right? Do a simple Google search. Okay, so are cows, if you follow my cursor here, right there, are cows man-made? Now here's the answer and then we'll go further. Okay, cows are also man-made creatures. They look similar to wild cattle, which are now extinct. Okay, so the wild cattle are extinct because we bred them for what's on the inside. We've made them smaller and more docile. We've made them to produce more milk. All right, so now let's take a look here. Okay, cows are currently the most common domesticated ungulated, that means hoofed mammal, and they are found wherever humans live. Cows were first domesticated between how many? 8,000 and 10,000 years ago, right? This is according to them. Okay, so just keep that in mind. That's just according to them. Cows were first domesticated between 8,000 and 10,000 years ago. My question is, why would the Most High represent himself as something that he didn't create, something that is a hybrid, something that he doesn't even want on the planet? Okay, how can this be the representation for the pictograph A, right? Would not be. Okay. Okay, so let me start again. Cows were first domesticated between 8,000 and 10,000 years ago from the aurochs. I think that's how to pronounce it. Aurochs. B. taurus primigenesis. Okay. Okay, a wild species of cattle that once ranged across Eurasia. Now, okay, so I'm curious. I'm gonna click on some of these down arrows. Okay, so here we are. Crossbreeding beef cattle offers two primary advantages relative to the use of only one breed. One, crossbreed animals, crossbreed means hybrid, right? Exhibit heterosis, hybrid vigor. So that means they're stronger, more energetic. And two, crossbreed animals combine the strengths of the various breeds used to form the cross. The amount of heterosis is largest for traits that have low heritabilities. Okay, so that this means that they don't show up in the phenotype often. Okay, and I'm also curious about let's see, what is a cow mixed with? There we go. Beefalo are primarily cattle in genetics and appearance, with the breeding association defining a full beefalo as one with 3/8, that's 37.5% bison. Okay, it's 3/8 bison genetics, while animals with higher percentages of bison genetics are called bison hybrids. Okay, bison hybrids. Now, bison, this is the animal that I use to represent the Ha in the 911 Ibaryath Rescue, Ancient Phoenician, Paleo Hebrew book that I published, the purple one. I use the bison. It was only recently began to be hybridized since these heathens have been in the US. Okay, so this was a pure stock up until they started recently starting to breed them. But the percentage, if I remember correctly, even today, the percentage that are hybridized is still low, but it happened. The hybridization began in modern times. Okay, all right. So let's see what else. All right, so let me go to the a dog impregnated with a pig. What? Oh, okay. I was going to say. So now let's go look at this original. Let's continue following the trail. So we'll look at, remember this article we just read, I mean, this comment we just read, are cows man-made? So it says cows are man-made creatures. They look similar to a wild cow, now extinct because we breed them out for what's inside. We've made them similar and more docile. They're more passive, right? In other words, they're easier to rule, easier to keep. Okay. In other words, the wild ones, you couldn't keep them because they wouldn't tolerate it. Okay, we've made them to produce milk. So let's click on the link. All right, so here's a hybridized dog, right? This poodle. Okay, so let's just, what is, I don't, so this is a blogspot.com. Okay, cows are like poodles. So let's just go ahead and read it, okay? Let's see what it says. This is somebody's, so we'll just see what they have to say. Poodles are man-made creatures, okay? They were no pack of wild poodles roaming. Oh, okay, so there were no packs of wild poodles roaming the African savanna hunting antelope. Poodles were created by humans through breeding over thousands of years. So we'll look this up later, okay? They act and look very different from wolves because we bred them for appearance, retrieving, and recently appearance. Let me read. Okay, so there was an edit corrected thanks to, okay, so that's nothing. Okay. All right, so they were breeded for appearance, right? Now let's go to this paragraph about cows right here. Okay, cows are also man-made creatures. Let me clarify. The cows we milk and eat are man-made creatures. Y'all got that? The cows we milk and eat are man-made creatures. And here it is right here. Okay, this is not the pictograph. It is a hybrid. Our ancestors would not use a hybrid. And the Most High himself would not use a hybrid to represent himself, right? And then the hybrids, these breeds, the pure creation is always stronger than a hybrid, okay? Always stronger than a hybrid, all right? So let's continue. We've created them through breeding over 10,000 years. Oh, okay, now I don't believe that, but anyway. They look similar to wild cattle, so we'll look this up, okay, which are now extinct because we bred them for what's on the inside. We've made them smaller and more docile. See that? So the created species was stronger, right? All right, harder to enslave. We've made them produce more milk. All right, they bred them to produce more milk. We've made them to produce more meat. All right, so they made them more muscular, more fat. We've also altered their appearance. See, they altered their appearance. See, so you see what's going on right now with all of these genetic engineering programs that are happening in the US and other countries where they're changing vegetables, changing fruit. They've been changing animals too, right? All of this has been going on. Okay, it's all, and now they want to hybridize people. And y'all know what I'm talking about, right? They want to hybridize people by putting something in to change your DNA, telling you you'll be better off. But notice that hybrids are always domesticated animals, which would be what? Animals that are held in captivity. So if you want to be held in captivity, that's on you. Okay, that's what this is about. Okay, so we've made them to produce more meat. We've also altered their appearance, right? They've changed the way they look, but not so much as we have done for poodles. There were no herds of black and white mottled cows roaming across Asia. So this whole, what you're looking at is completely different than what's natural. So these are hybrids. They look completely different than the natural creation that the Most High put here. They have a completely different attitude, and they allow people to dominate them and use them, right? And they're so docile that they'll let you kill them and let you take their meat. So this is what hybridizing anything is about, okay? Control, and then using that person or animal as a resource to make money from through selling. Okay, so let's go here. That was the breeding. So this is the aurochs, okay? This is what the Most High created, right? This is what the Most High created, and then they bred them to create a hybrid, what we call cows now, cows and bulls. All right, so the aurochs, also known as urus or ur, is an extinct. So you see that? They hybridized them out and then they made them extinct. Okay, so they made hybrids and then they killed them off. Keep that in mind when people are talking about making you into a hybrid or changing your DNA to help you. Okay, see who's gonna be here longer, you or the hybrid. Okay, if you have some wisdom, you'll know what I'm talking about. Is an extinct species of large wild cattle that inhabited Asia, Europe, and North Africa. It is the ancestor of the domestic cattle. It is the ancestor of the domestic cattle. So that means what? That means what? That the pictograph is not a cow. A cow is hybrid. All right, but notice that the Baal, for the Baal deity, is a cow, or rather a bull. That's a hybrid, right? Use your intelligence to figure out what that means. The species survived in Europe until 1627. What was happening in 1627? This was what? Approaching the height of the hybrid European conquest, right, of the world. The species survived in Europe until 1627, when the last recorded aurochs died in the Jopturo forest in Poland. So y'all see that? So these people have a history of killing off everything natural, consistent with Genesis 1. If you haven't watched my video on Genesis 1 and 2, you should go watch them, and this will open up for you. You'll see what that means. Okay, during the Neolithic Revolution, which occurred during the early Holocene, at least 2 aurochs domestication events occurred. One related to the Indian subspecies. I'm not going to read it, okay, but here it is. Leading to the Zubu cattle. And the other related to the Eurasian subspecies here, leading to the Touraine cattle. Now, oh, very interesting. Now, y'all take a look at this. Here's the Touraine cattle. Look at the top. Y'all see that? Take a look at that. We see this cattle all the time, right? So Touraine cattle, I'm going to read the box. Touraine cattle, also called European cattle, are a subspecies of domesticated cattle originating in the Near East. Both Touraine cattle and Indocin cattle, this is the Zebus, are descended from the aurochs. In other words, they're hybrids of the aurochs. Touraine cattle were originally considered a distinct species, but are now typically grouped with Zulus. I want to read that. I'm going to open that up in a different window, okay? We'll come back to it. Okay, other species of wild bovines were also domesticated, namely the wild water buffalo. So now, okay, we see that the water buffalo, take a look at them. See the water buffalo? That is a hybrid. Okay, so the pictograph would not be a water buffalo, right? Wild yak. The wild yak is a large wild type of cattle native to the Himalayas. It is the ancestor of the domestic yak. Okay, now what's a gour? The gour, take a look at the picture. The gour, also known as the Indian bison, is a bovine native of South and Southeast Asia and has been listed as vulnerable on the The global population was estimated at a maximum of 21,000 mature individuals. All right. So let me see the wild yak. The wild yak is a large wild type of cattle native to the Himalayas. It is the ancestor of the domestic yak. Okay, I have to come back to that. Okay, the Benting, also known as Simbadu, Dao rather, is a species of cattle found in Southeast Asia. The head and body length is between 1.9 and 3.68 meters. While Benting are typically larger and heavier than their domesticated counterparts, but are otherwise similar in appearance. Okay, so let's continue. In modern cattle, many breeds share characteristics of the aurochs, such as the dark color in the bulls, with the light ill stripe along the back, the cows being lighter, or in aurochs like horn shape. All right, so maybe that's it. Let me take a look at this and see if we go through it. No, okay, so what is it? Etymology. All right, so let's see. Okay, so now let's take a look at this, okay? Etymology. The words auroch and urus and licence have all been used synonymously in English, but the extinct auroch or urus is a completely separate species from the still extant bison, also known as the European bison. The two are often confused, and some 16th century illustrations of aurochs and Wyset have hybrid features. The word urus is a Latin word, but was borrowed into Latin from Germanic. In German, or primordial was compounded with osso or ox, which is ox, giving urosso, which became the early modern urox. The modern form is, how do you pronounce that? Euro, I don't know how to pronounce that. But anyway, here it is right here. All right, so the word aurochs has been borrowed from early modern German, replacing the archaic, that means ancient, urox, also from an earlier form of German. The word is invariable in number in English, though sometimes a back form singular auroch and or innovated plural. How might that be pronounced? Maybe aurochs occur. The use in English of the plural form uroxen, I know the CH is probably a K or a ch, I don't know. I'll Google it. We'll Google it later. Is non-standard, but mentioned in the Cambridge Encyclopedia of Language. All right, so there's nothing interesting there. Evolution. I don't see anything interesting here either. But I would like to know when they were hybridized. I'm reading here. Okay. All right. So these are talking about DNA studies. I'm going through to see if it's something interesting. No. No. Okay. So these are pictures, right? If you want to see what they look like. So let's move on. It's really nothing there. So this is the cattle that I'm used to seeing, right? Cattle that look like this. This is a hybrid. Who would have thought, right? Who would have known? But this is a hybrid, okay? That's a hybrid. So when you're eating beef, you're eating hybrid meat. Maybe that's why this beef is so unhealthy for you. Touraine cattle, also called European cattle, are a subspecies of domesticated cattle originating in the Near East. Both Touraine cattle and Indocin cattle, or zebus, are descended from the aurochs. Touraine cattle were originally considered a distinct species, but are now typically grouped with the zubas and the aurochs into one species, Bos taurus. Most modern breeds of cattle are Touraine cattle. Genetic research suggests the entire modern stock of Touraine cattle may have arisen from as few as 80 aurochs tamed in the upper reaches of Mesopotamia about 10,500 years ago, near the village of whatever that is in southeastern Turkey, okay, and the Darrell-El, okay, in northern Iraq. The genome sequence of the Hereford breed of Touraine cattle was published in the Bovine Genome Sequencing and Analysis Consortium in 2009. So this would explain why beef is so unhealthy for you, right? Because it's a hybrid. Now that makes sense, don't it? All right, so now here's the aurochs. Did we already read this? Yeah, we went through that. So let's close that out. I got something. Okay, so this is the auroch skeletal remains, okay? So now let's see what we can find in the Encyclopedia Britannica on this topic. Aurochs, or Bos primigenus, also spelled auroch, extinct wild ox of Europe, family Bovidae, order Artiodactyla, from which cattle are probably descended. The auroch survived in central Poland until 1627. Notice that's when the hybrids came on the scene, the hybrid troglodyte niggard European, right? That's when he was coming to the peak of his power, right? Okay, so the aurochs was black, stood 1.8 meters or 6 feet high at the shoulder, and had spreading forward crowning horns like this. Okay, like that. All right. Some German breeders claim that since 1945, they have recreated this race by crossing Spanish fighting cattle with longhorns and cattle of other breeds. Their animals, however, are smaller, and though they resemble the aurochs, probably do not have the same genetic constitution. So these hybrid troglodyte niggers, they have a habit of a history of creating hybrids and then killing off the creature that the Most High made thereby what? Replacing it with a hybrid. So y'all should connect that to Genesis chapter 1, okay? If you haven't watched that movie, I mean that video, go back and watch the video. Genesis chapter 1 and Genesis chapter 2 on here on YouTube, my YouTube channel. Okay, so let's see. Let's continue. Now here's another hybrid cattle, right? Everybody sees these too. Okay. So let's see if there's anything else. No, I think that's it. All right, that's it with this. And that might be the end of what I have. All right, so it's a good idea to stop eating beef. So this is the common domesticated cow that we see, right? And they're telling you drink milk, get milk, and all of that. You're drinking milk from a hybrid animal, right? And milk, cow's milk, is not good for you. People are getting bovine virus and getting cancer. All right. They don't tell you that, but I'm telling you, this is a hybrid animal, which would explain why people who eat a lot of beef usually get what? Heart disease, heart attack, and stroke, high blood pressure, the whole 9 yards. All right. So think twice before you put something hybrid in your mouth. Dr. Sebi told us, didn't he? Dr. Sebi told us not to eat hybrid. So now I'm also telling, don't eat hybrid, okay? All right, so let's read this and then we'll end it. Cows were, by the way, I'm Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School. I want to invite you to come to the Curses course. The class is every Saturday at 9 a.m. in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. 9 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. You get 2 free classes. You're going to learn a lot. You're not obligated to stay. You're not obligated to buy anything. You're just going to come and learn Deuteronomy chapter 28, the curses, verse 15 through 29. You're going to learn how the words are put together, the etymology, and all of the incredible insights that you gain from learning these skills. Okay. You're also going to learn how to use various technologies that we use. It's a phenomenal experience, and you absolutely have to come in order to know what I'm talking about, because it's more than what I'm talking about. Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so cows were first domesticated as all-purpose animals used as draft animals and also for their milk and meat products. Regional specializations led to the formation of a range of varieties or breeds that were adopted to different climates or that were selectively bred to emphasize valuable characteristics such as milk or meat production. Don't think for a minute, y'all, that the people who've been doing this will not do this with you or with us. They do call us goyim, which is cattle, okay? And they have been doing it. So use your own wisdom, okay? Don't trust people. Cows are used by humans in many other ways, such as a source of leather for clothing. Now they did this to us, didn't they? During the time when we were in physical bonds, they would use a woman's vagina and a man's testicles to make a purse, or something to hold their coins, or to make shoes or other garments, right? So don't think there's no history of them not doing this to us, because they did. All right. To them, we're animals, cows, goyim. All right. Let's see. Okay. So as participants in sporting events such as bullfighting, bull riding, and rodeo event. Now, didn't they do this to us? Y'all saw that famous movie, right? With Candyland, or it had Candyland in it or something like that. And the prisoners of war that they were calling slaves, they were forced to fight each other to death, right? Same thing here. And then they were betting on it. It was entertainment. Cows may also serve as a measure of wealth, and they were even worshipped as sacred animals in some religions. See the sanctity of cows. So that would be in India, right? Historically, Northern Europeans constructed their dwellings alongside or on top of cow stables. That's why they got so much disease at that time, right? They're living right on top of animals and living with animals and all of that. Creating what? House barns. Creating house barns warmed by the body, by the heat of the cow's body. All right, so now we see that they were living right next to, on top of, and with animals. That was their level of hygiene and civilization. And then they turn around and say, we're not civilized. All mammals produce milk for their young, but dairy cattle, such as the well-known Holstein Friesian cow, this must be the people who developed the hybridization, have been specially bred. See, y'all see that? Cow's milk is hybridized. I would not give this to my children, right? No, 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 no way. To produce very large quantities of milk. Since only females produce milk, they are far more common in the dairy industry. Dairy bulls are often large, powerful, and aggressive, and are more challenging to keep. As a result, most breeding in modern dairy operations occur through artificial insemination, with bulls living at just a few specialized facilities. So this would be what? This would be what? Killing off of the men of the male species. Now, don't we see that today, right? Don't we see that today? Killing us off to what? To have the women and exploit them. All right, so let's continue. These are principles that they're using with this hybridization programs, okay? And trust me, for a lot of these people, if not all of them, we're nothing but cattle, resources for them to exploit and make money from. Different breeds of dairy cows have been bred for specific milk characteristics, such as to maximize yield or to produce a desired level of fat in the milk. Milk from cows is a significant part of many food items. In addition to direct consumption as a beverage, it is used to make a wide range of products, including butter, yogurt, cheese, and ice cream. All right, so maybe we'll go further. Let's see. Anything else interesting? Okay, so let's go through this. The meat of adult cows is known as beef. Meat from calves, typically slaughtered at 3 months of age, is known as veal. Okay, veal. Beef cattle, such as the common Hereford and Aberdeen Angus breeds, have been bred to produce muscle, not milk, and tend to be much heftier than dairy cows. Breeds of beef cattle have differing characteristics in regards to growth rate, fat content of the meat, disease resistance, and ability to handle drought. In addition to muscle meat, a variety of organs from cows, including liver, kidney, heart, brains, and various glands, are also consumed by people. Beef cows are typically farmed in less intensive systems than dairy cows, since they are not handled daily for milking. So y'all see the meat that y'all love, the veal, the Angus beef, you're eating hybrid. This would go a long ways in explaining why people get heart disease from eating lots of meat. All right. Okay, so let's close that out. Close that out. So this is going to end the video. All right. So I'm Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School. You're invited to come to the Curses course and participate and learn Ibaryath, okay, the Phoenician Hebrew writing system. You're going to learn our ancestors' language, okay, how they spoke, right, and how to make sense of the curses, the contract, in the original language, so that you become independent. You won't need a teacher. You'll be able to do all of this on your own. Okay, that's the whole point of this. It's for you to be able to handle the contract in its original language. You'll be able to learn how to translate, learn how to write, learn how to read, learn how to research, learn how to use online Bible tools. You'll get such specialized information that you won't get anyplace else other than here. So you're invited. You get 2 classes for free. The link is in the description box. So go ahead, click on the link and register, and then you'll get the information as to how to join the class. So that's it. Just remember, okay, these bulls and cows are hybrids, and the pictograph in the Paleo, well, not the Paleo, but in the Hebrew writing system, it's not a bull. Okay, it is not the bull that we've been taught. Let me show y'all the picture of that bull. I almost forgot to do that. Let me show you the picture of the bull. Give me 1 second. So y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about, that Wall Street bull. A lot of people associate that with being the bull that represents the pictograph. Okay, so let me show you that that's not it. Okay, let me show you what it looks like. This is the Wall Street bull. I'm just waiting for it to open up. Okay, so just remember that the pictograph, which is the first pictograph, okay, that represents or is a symbol representing the Most High. This is it right here. This is what most people associate that pictograph with. A pictograph is just a symbolic image or a symbol, a representation of something our ancestors used, okay, in their day-to-day life, everyday life. And so this is what most people are associating with that. So I've just shown you that this is a hybrid, and therefore common sense says what? The Most High would not represent himself using a hybrid bull, right? Because that representation describes his relationship with his people, the house of Yasharallah. So this is not it. If you want to know what that object is, okay, you can go on Amazon, or you can go on zionlawschool.org, either one, and order a copy of 911 Ibaryath Rescue, okay, Ancient Phoenician Paleo Hebrew. And then what you'll get, it has to be the international version. Order the international version, okay? So if you order the international version, you'll see what the pictograph is, okay? This is a animal that was not hybridized, okay, at that time. All right, it was not hybridized at that time. So if you want to know what that pictograph is for the pictograph go on Zion Law School and order 911 Ibaryath Rescue International Edition. Only the international edition, okay? This is the black and white one. You'll see a picture of it. Anyway, I'm Dr. Yasafa, and with that, I'm going to say Shalom.